My name is Linh and my co-host is
Edward Thomas.
Hello, Ed. Welcome
Hey,
back.
Lynn. Welcome back.
Yo,
Wow.
we on fire.
I know. I feel like we're producing like a lot right now.
Producing what? Gas.
Well, that's coming too.
Methane factory.
I like a little methane. It's so good for you.
Okay.
We can always compete with the cows and see who has the most potent. It's not about the volume; it's the potency.
Oh, okay. Concentration of methane. So, I wanted to tell you about the people I've met in Germany, and I think there is a common pattern for some of them.
Yes.
And that is that they must have had a really screwed up childhood.
Why do you say that?
Why so judgy? Why so judgy?
I didn't say that. But if you feel guilty, you just need to repent. Okay.
Well, people told me about how they grew up and how it affected them. Like, for example, my one friend, she grew up in a household where the parents actually never wanted to have children, like ever. And if they
How'd
had
she find out about? Like, did they tell her?
Yeah, the mother told her frequently that she was never wanted. Like, they never wanted to have a child.
Whoa.
And if they were to have a child, it should have been a boy. But she was a girl. So she was a no-go on 2 points already.
Wow.
And then she's pretty bright, I would say. And she went to school. And when she said, you know what, I would like to go to further education. The parents were like, no, you're going to get a vocational so you can get out of my house.
Wow.
So she got stuck in this mindset of, you know what, I'm not good enough. Like, I shouldn't be bothering people.
Wait, she listened to that?
If your parents tell you from a young age that you are nothing, you cannot achieve anything, like, just, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You shouldn't exist, you know? So it was really hard
She
because...
didn't grow up in church.
No.
So that's one of the problems. See, she didn't get that good positive environment.
Yeah, because all churches are so supportive.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Especially if you're on the in-group.
So that was my one friend.
Wow.
And then I have another one. I have another one. And she has children herself now. I mean, the first friend, she said that she really is very unsure about having children herself. Because she said like she is so afraid of becoming like her parents.
Wow.
That she's like, I would never want to do that to any other human being.
But then, I mean, she would have to already have decided not to want to have kids. Like if she's already worried about it, and she's probably already past her parents already in development.
Yeah. We talked about that. Like, she said she had to go to therapy and stuff, and she's still struggling with it. I have another long-term
Can we call
friend.
her up and talk to her right now?
No, she can write to me if she wants to be part of this podcast.
Ooh, wow.
I have another friend, and her parents were also like, they never cared about her schooling, and they got even jealous when she exceeded the family's tradition of being like low in IQ and low in social status. Like, she rose above that, and they got jealous and treated her poorly because of that.
Wait a minute. I just...
Why would you laugh?
Because it's like, here's your
Yes,
parents. Here's your parents, and they're dumb. And now they go, what? You're smart? You're smarter than we are?
No. They wouldn't say you're smart. They're saying, so you think you're better than us?
Yes, I achieved more than you ever did in your whole life together.
That's true.
Duh. But you would think they would be happy for her.
They're like normal parents. No,
You know,
but they
you're
wouldn't.
achieving, you're being successful.
But she also had to go to therapy because I think several.
Wow.
I talk mostly about women now. That
Yeah.
those two, they had to go to therapy because they always had this kind of anger outbursts. You know, they would have this anger,
Okay.
and
Wow.
in close relationships, it would turn into aggression and like anger, just anger issues. And you would, and they obviously had to work on that because their close friends and partners told them, you know what, this is unacceptable, this is not normal.
Yeah.
You have to go fix it because no one can be with you if you're like this. And I'm glad that they took help. They took help.
But did it help them?
Yeah.
So the help helped.
The help helped. Yeah. And then I was really surprised about one one of our kids' teachers at preschool. He said that his whole life, everyone always told him that he was dumb. Because I think maybe he had ADHD or some kind of dysfunctional...
What is Germany like, man?
I just met those people. I wouldn't say all of Germany is like this.
I know, sounds pretty condemning right now, the whole country.
But he said that, I don't know if he grew up in a Christian environment, but I think when he worked there, because it's a Christian kindergarten, he works there, and I think he must be a Christian now because he's also going to church and quoting the Bible and so on. Yeah. And he said that he wanted to give back because his whole life he was treated like he was an idiot, but I think he maybe has dyslexia or some learning disability. Right. But everyone always told him that it's his problem and his fault and he's dumb, and all the teachers and all the adults just stamped him as, you're stupid. Like, don't even bother spending time on him because he's dumb. So when he was a young adult, he even was suicidal and wanted to commit suicide. He ended up in psych ward and everything, had to go to therapy. And after years of work, he started a new occupation. Like he did some vocational training and he didn't do well in that one because the environment was just like man dominated and people were just mean. Just treating him like crap.
Get out of that man-dominated environment.
But they are more. No, but the thing is, they were more harsh.
Yeah, no. I wasn't being facetious. I was actually siding with you. I was actually going, yeah, sorry.
Really, yeah. It sounds like you were, yeah. Anyway, so
sometimes I sound that way.
he changed into becoming a preschool teacher, and he did really well. That he's a really good teacher as far as I could see, and he was really happy. And he shared with me that, coming here and learning, and when he did his vocational training, he had only A's, and he was like, how is this possible? Like, I'm a failure. Because in past, he always failed everything. Wow. He didn't succeed in anything. People always told him he's dumb.
Interesting.
And then suddenly he had this eye-opening and could restart.
I'm not dumb anymore.
Yeah. And he said because of his struggles that he went through, he had to learn everything himself, like develop strategies.
Right.
So yeah. And then I have another friend. That's my last friend I'm going to share the story about.
Wow.
And she grew up in a home where she was always criticized by her parents for everything. And now she feels like she's still criticized for her parenting her kids.
Or by her parents.
Yeah. So every time the grandkids, her children, go to her, always when she comes into the door, she's not greeted by, hi, how are you? How was the day? She's greeted by, oh, your kids, you should raise them like this, like that, and whatnot. And when she gets the kids back, she always feels like you start from zero because the kids just out of control. Because a whole weekend, they got to do whatever they wanted with the grandparents, and then they come home, and they're just out of control.
Wow.
And she's just too nice. Wow. She's just too nice.
So here are four people
of screwed up
whose adult life is being really destroyed.
Or really poorly affected.
Yeah, or just greatly affected by stuff that happened to them when they were children in a very unhealthy, emotionally damaging environment.
And those things were from their parents. I mean, you can't even say they were friends, they were bullying in school.
No, because of the people who are actually supposed to be your primary caretakers. Yeah. Who are supposed to support you, nourish you, and help you to grow and be a good person.
Yeah.
And instead, it seems like, and it seems like the whole criticism thing, besides the first person whose parents just didn't want them. I mean,
I tell them every single day.
I don't know how you get out of that one. You're just like, it's like, you know what? We never really wanted to have children.
But now
if we're going to have one, we really wanted a boy. You're such a disappointment to us. Like, okay, now you want to know why I rob banks and then go out and beat people in the head with Coke bottles. I need help. You guys are jacking me up here. But the other ones seem to come from families where the parents weren't nurturing, no encouragement,
no believing in the children.
Yeah, I mean,
just like you dumb.
Like, oh, you're a waste of time already. So, wow. I don't know. I mean, that's just so hard.
How were you raised? Would you say that you had a good childhood, or would you say you were
No, I
screwed
had a
up?
crappy childhood. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't have a dad. No, no. I would say that the funny thing is that my mom always told me, and to this day, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. You can do anything you want. You can be anyone you want to be.
She still tells you.
Oh yeah. If I'm thinking like, Mom, I don't know. I was wondering if I should retire early from the church, but Ed, if that's your calling, you can be anything you want to be.
If that's your calling, you
I'm
can
like,
be anyone you're gonna
I'm
be.
like, okay, what's all the positive talk, lady? No, I'm just kidding. No,
Mama.
but that's the thing is that's why I do so many things. When people say, why do you have so many hobbies? Why have you done so much? Because in my mind, I was programmed. You could be anything you could be anything you want. You could do anything you want to do. Just put your mind to it. It's like, okay.
But your mind is quite scattered.
It's not.
Yes,
I'm a very, very, very square person. I only do one thing at a time.
So
I'm very boring.
so
I'm very just
planned
methodical.
and
I know,
organized.
exactly. Salt would be too much spice for me. I'd burn myself. It's like, no, I'm not creative. I'm not spontaneous. I mean, those things are.
You're
for other
so
people.
easily distracted. It's just
Shut up. I'm not easily distracted. I find things interesting along the way.
you take detours to make the trip longer.
I take detours to make the trip interesting. It's
Yeah.
a difference. I do this when we're on road trips too. It's really a lot of fun. Oh, look at that sign. Let's stop there. Takes me forever to get somewhere. But anyway.
But you would say that you had a
No,
encouraging.
I say I had a very, very encouraging. I mean, I had both my mom and my grandmother and our church. And so.
What did
Yeah.
your church you do?
I mean, I went to a typical African-American, gospel church. Jesus, hallelujah. our pastor was short. He's from the South, but he would preach really hard. And I saw the stone, and the stone was rolled away. And he'd climb on top of the pulpit, and he was buried with his burial cloth. He'd lay on the pulpit with his handkerchief on his face, but death could not hold him. And he rose from the grave. He took that burial cloth off. He threw it. He throws it on the audience, and everyone's like, hallelujah. Jesus.
Why don't you ever preach like that in our church? I think we would attract so many more people.
Because
like
I
once
can't
a
preach
month.
that way.
Once a month.
I can only joke about it.
Yeah,
When I'm
they
there,
joke about it the
No.
whole sermon. Joke about it the whole sermon,
Listen,
please.
I try. I tell our church all the time, like, so who created the earth? Everyone's like, ugh. They're like, oh, Julie. I'm like, upstairs, creator of heaven and earth. And one person says, maybe God. I'm like, okay, God, let's try this again one more time. And everyone's like, God. I'm like, where's the enthusiasm, people? Come on. God, he's the creator of heaven and earth.
You have to, but the thing is, you have with the worship, you have to fire people up first.
Are you trying to say our worship team don't fire people up?
Yeah, you should fire people up.
No, I try to. I mean,
I fire the kids up in Sunday school. It takes me a lot of energy
no, those
already.
kids are crazy. You don't need to fire them up. They're already fired up.
No, they're not. Especially when you see the boys, you're like, no.
That's because they're bored.
Yes,
I mean-
they're bored.
I didn't say that.
Yes, so you gotta fire them up.
Listen.
Even the kids. They're like,
I'm a very animated preacher. I give examples. I rush out into the public. I talk to people. I can't get our church to move. I don't know what's wrong with this.
Maybe I should try to be the animator, in those hotels where you have animators, hey, let's have a game. Come on, who's the energy? Woo woo woo, everyone.
So who's the creator of heaven and earth? And you'll be like, it is God. Come on, everybody. Let's say God.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be manipulation?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we're starting a cult.
Yes.
And we all-
Everyone say yes.
yes. Where's the green light? Oh my gosh. No, I had to get back on track. I wasn't distracted this time. I just want to tell everybody who was the one that was distracted all the time. But anyway, so no, but I had a very nurturing and I had a pretty good, I mean, there are things in my childhood that were bad, but I would say that for the most part, when it comes to emotional support and help and compliments, I mean, my mom, she was really, really supportive of what we wanted to do. She thought it was weird, but she still
That was
supported.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, back then.
So you never support your kids. You're like, you're
no,
all dumb.
no.
Don't try it.
Because my mom grew up in the South, and so black people weren't allowed to use a swimming pool. because white people were afraid it would be contaminated. Black people
All the
got
germs.
water. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of black people can't swim, but I swim. I love swimming, or I ski, or I play chess.
Buoyance.
I'm looking at your big booty and saying, "Well, I guess you're not sinking either."
Well, fat swims.
You strike the iceberg, and they're like, "What? Why did the Titanic sink? I'm okay." It's like,
okay, sorry. Yeah, you like swimming.
yeah, and there's just a lot of things I just wanted to do that maybe a lot of other African Americans back in the 70s weren't doing, and so everyone thought it was weird.
Yeah,
people
you're
thought it was
pretty
weird. I was the only black guy on the slopes. So everyone was like, "Do you know how to ski?" I'm like, "Better than you."
Ooh, burn!
You know, what really? I'm like, let's go up. You know, and because people didn't believe that black people could ski.
Well, they haven't seen anyone. So you're the first one.
I was the first one.
First and the last.
They should have put me on the Olympic team back in the 70s. Oh, look, we have a black poster child. There's nothing to do with your friends, but anyway, and their childhood. But it's
okay. Your childhood is just as important.
No, wow, really?
It made you who you are.
Wow, really? We should really. I need to go back to the womb, start all over again.
The kids sometimes put their heads on my stomach, like, I want to be a baby again.
Wow. Here, let me put my head on your stomach. Let me see if I feel the same way. Oh yeah, I can see it. I want to be a baby again too. Lynn, can you carry me?
It's all this mama pouch and fat thing, and it's like already squishy.
Can't you just carry me and just hold me and sing a lullaby to me?
I can barely hold your head. I don't know. You're squishy.
Yeah, I take what I can get. Take an elbow. Doesn't weigh as much.
Yeah.
But I think that the whole idea that when you're a child, and this is for parents out there, be careful what you say.
Yeah.
I think that people don't realize that they actually, and I don't believe in like prophetic creation. Like, oh, if I say the words, now I created the, I'm like, no. But the things you say to your kids, they actually take it in. And if you give them compliments and you boost them up, they'll feel great about life, and they won't be as dependent upon people. They won't give into in group pressure as much because they're really secure in themselves. But if you sow disharmony into their soul, so they feel they don't have any worth, they feel they can't do anything right, they're going to live that out. That's what they're going to do. That's their reality. And so I think that parents need to understand that they could choose, even if you think your child is dumb as a rock, you don't have to tell them that.
No, you don't.
You just tell them, you say things like, you know what? It doesn't matter if you can achieve the same as the other kids. I still love you. You still have value and worth. You can build them up instead of just saying like, I knew you was dumb when you came out. I tried to give you my breast. And
you wouldn't suck it.
And you put your butt on me. I was like, no, your mouth, not your butt. You don't get milk that way, I mean, sometimes as parents, you just have to.
But I think most parents wouldn't do that, but they would do other things. I mean, my mom, they're Asian parents, so they're very demanding.
No, really.
They're very demanding, but in a sense, more academically demanding. But I was somehow always, I don't know, I picked up on this goody good girl quite early, that I was always eavesdropping at the adult talks, like the lady talks, where the old ladies would talk to each other, like, oh, look at this girl, how she dresses. Oh, look at this one. Oh, have you heard? And this, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to be that one. I want to be the good girl.
I thought you joined in the conversation. Like,
no,
I know she's like a hoe. I saw the way she's dressing up at school. She does even worse than that.
No, but so I always knew how. Or I knew the expectation, the standard. Yeah. So I would follow that because I knew that I want to be a poster child.
So you were fishing for likes. Even when you were a kid. Even before likes came out, you were already programmed.
I still have, I think, but I had a very good reputation in the Vietnamese community in our hometown. People would know me, although I don't know them.
Like the one back in Vietnam?
No, the one in Chemnitz. Okay. Yeah, in Germany, like the Vietnamese community is quite big there. And my parents and my mom, she used to make so much food and sell it to all the Vietnamese wholesalers, so they would know who my mom is, which means they would know who I am.
Right.
So people knew about me more than I knew about them. Whatever. But I was a poster child. I would never get in trouble. I would get good grades. I was a goody good girl. I wouldn't go party because I was not invited. Because I was uncool.
I'm like, wow.
Because I was
When did she
uncool.
ever get invited to the party?
Nope. Never.
Wow.
I was never invited to any party. But I was the.
I wonder what I thought you were a nerd. If I would have met you like when you were like 12, I wonder what I had thought you were cool. What I thought you were a nerd.
Neither. I was dumb. I was always hushing to the teachers, and I would tell them who did trouble and not. So I brought it upon myself.
You were a snitch.
Yeah, I was a snitch.
Ooh.
I was a snitch for a couple of years. Then I realized.
Couple of years. How did you survive? Oh my gosh!
That built my resilience.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
why
that's why
I tell
nothing affects you
Nomi.
now.
I tell Nomi and Itai, don't be a snitch.
But why, Mom?
You'll be in trouble.
I heard.
No, but yeah. But my mom always told me. I mean, she was really harsh and strict on me when I was in primary school.
Okay.
Like I would get beaten for bad grades.
Really?
Yeah, and my tutor,
Wow.
at some point she told my mom like, you can't beat your kid because she had a C or even a D. You can't beat your kids for having a C or a D because that's like sometimes it's out of their like control. It's not like if you study more, you will automatically get better grades.
Yes, you will.
Like no, not always.
It's like my students now. I have. If some of those students got a D, they'd be like, "Hallelujah, God is good." Well, I'm like, it's a D. Okay?
It's like barely survived.
D does not mean delight. Okay, it means dumb. It's like you're not really dumb, but you're still dumb.
It basically says you're dumb in the test. But yeah. So
but here people think, "Oh, a D." I'm like,
no.
I have students thanking me. Oh, I didn't think I didn't think I was gonna have that. I thought I was just gonna get an E, but you gave me a D. I'm like, because you deserved a D, dummy. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. You're the best teacher. I'm like,
But I mean, that kind of upbringing rubbed up on me. So when Nomi has no grades, obviously, because she's in second
Not
grade.
yet.
But
It's
when
coming.
she has like scores, I know 18 out of 20 or
Right.
something, then I'm like, okay. But when it goes below 17 or something, we're like, we have an issue, girl. This is not cutting.
Wow.
This is not cutting it. Mm-mm.
right when I thought that you really weren't an Asian mom, you just go all the way in the deep end, just dive into the ditch. You don't even check to see how deep it is, just like head first. Wow.
No, but I don't know. I think it really made me learn to work hard and to be resilient, you know? And that is also why I am pretty
Like you're on Nomi's
strict.
case.
Yeah, strict with Nomi when it comes to her violin playing. I know it's very stereotypical, but I asked her if she wanted to play this or any other instrument, and she said the violin. We let her wait for a year until we actually enlisted her because we wanted really to make sure, is this really what you want?
Well, Lynn, you don't have to convince me. I know you're a good mom.
Tiger mom. The tiger mom learned from me.
You know, I had a dream last night. I had a dream that we started a t-shirt company. It was called
A teacher company.
T-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Not a t-shirt. And it said, sayings from Mama Lynn.
Sayings from mama. I wrote down a couple of sayings.
And on the t-shirt, it
Wait,
says,
let me see.
it says, don't talk about the ghetto. I am the ghetto.
Yeah, I wrote.
I'm like,
I wrote.
we had like
I wrote
people,
some. Wait.
People were like buying those t-shirts.
Yeah,
I had
like-
a picture, like a comic picture of you, Mama Lynn. I was like making this.
I
And
have
you got
one
mad
more-
at me
don't-
because I didn't cut you in on the money.
I could see that. I have one. Don't let your feelings disrespect you.
Wow.
I have. Yeah, that's from the ghetto. And then, this one I saw online though. It's not mine.
Okay.
Avoid constructive advice from people who have never constructed anything in their life.
But that sounds like an original Lynn.
That's not mine though.
Oh, yeah, but it sounds like it.
I have one more.
Oh.
There's only one man worth chasing after, and that one ain't you.
Somebody just got their skin fried.
You see?
Extra crispy.
You see? Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, my upbringing. Oh, I have to tell you one I think I've told you before, but I have to tell it in the in the podcast. Anyway,
Okay.
so that's why. But I still try to be very encouraging to Nomi to like reward her effort. You know, to say when she has a good grade or something that it's because you worked so hard. And I always tell her, you know what, you're smart. You can do things. You have potential. You can do things. You're smart. But I can already see she's sometimes like, no, I don't think I'm very smart. I'm like middle. And I'm like, oh, the Swedish is coming out.
It's leaking out of her pores. So I try to smother that in so it doesn't leak out, you know?
No, I'm just middle. I mean, obviously, you don't want your child to become arrogant and think like, yeah, I'm the best in everything.
Okay, if you have to choose.
From what to what?
Like, for them to go all in for Jantelogen and think like, no, it's okay, I'm not that good. Or arrogance.
Arrogant.
See?
I grew up in Germany, which is like
you and me are in the same boat.
A society where you have to perform. Like if you want to survive or get anything, you have to perform. And I think it is good though that I came to Sweden because in Germany I was only mediocre. In intelligence, in performance, I felt like I was on the upper part of mediocrity. Wow. I was never on top.
And you
but
came
in
to
Sweden,
you came to the land of mediocrity, and you're like,
woo!
Here I'm the queen. I rule.
I'm so good. Not as mediocre anymore.
No, it's because the standard here is pretty low.
Yeah. So I wanted to share one thing that happened to me recently with my dad. So my dad helped me repaint the old apartment in Germany because when you give it back, you have to repaint it white.
Really?
Yeah. You have to do so much. Anyway, so as always, my dad was surprised that I already had prepared everything. So when he arrived, he was finished with one room. He could go on to the next room.
Wow.
Because I was raised in thinking ahead and don't be a bottleneck for people's work. So I always prepared ahead. So I said, Dad, of course I do this. I know how this works. I'm not like Jonas. Because Jonas, he was always overwhelmed because my dad was here and they were renovating.
Right.
And Jonas was always overwhelmed with the pace my dad was working. And he was so restless. So if you didn't give him anything to do in the meantime, he's going to be on your case. He's going to be like, what's it done? Can I do this? Clean this up. I have to do this. This is the way. Like he will be on your case because he's restless.
Wow.
So that's why I told my dad, okay, I'm not Jonas, I know how it works. And then obviously, a good nagging wife as I am, will always complain about Jonas. Yeah, he's so slow, blah, blah, blah. And then my dad was like, oh, it's okay. He is good enough. And I'm like, yeah, but he has so much potential. He could do more. And this is where my roasting comes from.
Okay.
And my dad says, it's okay. I mean, he is okay. He's good enough. If he were any better, he wouldn't marry you.
Oh,
And I was like,
oh.
And I was like, and he said it not in a mean way. He's just like, it naturally, just like, this is the most natural thing. Like, if he were any better, yeah, he wouldn't marry you, so you should be content with what you have. And
He's trying to say that you got better than what you deserve.
So I wasn't even mad at him or hurt anything. I was just laughing because I'm like, this is such a good roast. So I'm like, this is where I get it from.
Okay.
This is how I grew up.
So the apple really doesn't fall far from the tree.
Just people roasting me, and then you just like, yeah, this is how you talk to each other, I guess. So this is how you show love. You just roast people.
Wow.
So you see, I love you very much because I roast you all the time.
Wow.
That's my love language.
Wow, really?
Are there 5 love languages? This is the sixth
one.
Is roasting.
I think you need to write your own book. But there are other love languages. Not those nice wimpy ones.
The spicy ones. the outlandish ones. I'm sure the Latino ones have that too.
The wasabi.
The wasabi one.
The wasabi love languages.
Like you eat it, you're like, and then it goes into your nose, you're like, oh, exactly. And then your tears are coming out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're friends, but one of the things that helped them from the impact of their childhood was therapy.
Yeah. All of them went. I think one of them still goes to, or several of them still go to therapy,
Yeah.
but they went to therapy. They had to talk it through, and just to, I think they had to disassociate from their childhood them
Okay.
to see that I'm not that child anymore. I'm not in that position anymore.
I'm not dumb anymore.
Yeah, like I'm a grown ass
Oh my
person now.
It's almost like they were born again.
Yeah, just not in a spiritual way, maybe.
Come on, let's just make it that one. Let's make it all.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah,
You can twist it.
so I think my childhood was good. I think when I was in the childhood, I wouldn't say it was very good.
No.
You always compare yourself to other people, how it looks from the outside.
Oh yeah, I used to always the kids that could just go home and talk to their mom. My friend, he went over his mom. Hey, Linda. I'm like, Linda, what?
Who's Linda?
I'm waiting for the slipper.
Smack.
Come on, right upside his head. Nothing. She's like, I had a really good day. I'm like, you call your mother Linda? I'm like, if I call my mother Jacqueline, oh my gosh, I'd have two black eyes.
That was the last word I said.
My teeth would be gone. I'd be like, it's like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, like my mom's, she's okay with that. You know, she wants me to call her, by her first name. I'm like, okay, what other crazy things do you do? I'm like, okay, what time do you have to be home? He's like, I just come home whenever I want to. I'm like, what? Your mom is definitely not black. It's like, it is 7:00. You're supposed to be home at 6:45. You're 15 minutes late. What were you at? Were you taking drugs? Were you out hoeing with somebody? Tell me if you've been hoeing with I'm not hoeing with anybody. Don't know what a hoe is. Come on. Like, leave me alone. I was like, it's nasty.
One time, it was the last meeting with my primary school friends, because I was supposed to go to the secondary school, and we were out.
Sorry, I was thinking you just came from Germany.
No. When I was a child, and I went to primary school with my primary school friends.
Okay, all right.
We were out, like, we didn't want the day to end, but I had a curfew to be home at, and I just kept looking at the clock. But I mean, I didn't have a watch then, so we looked at the church clock, and it kept running. And oh my gosh, I think I was 1.5 hours late or something.
Ooh.
When I came home, I got a bad beating.
I bet they tore you up.
My mom had a bad beating, and then it's Germany after all. My friend, he was also really late for his curfew, and his dad was a police.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, in Sweden, if you had a police showing up at your door, like, he wasn't in uniform, obviously, but he was a police, and he was with his son, and I think they wanted something, I don't remember, if jacket or something. Yeah. And my mom was, holding the rod, and I with the door, tears, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then we exchanged whatever we had to, and then the dad was also like, yeah, Robin is also coming home now and going to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he's a police. He's going to beat his child. And it's also illegal in Germany. I'm just saying. Yeah, so time is an issue.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. No.
So, yeah. I don't know. So, I think it's hard to be a parent in this day and age, I would say.
Not really.
It is.
No.
You fight against social media, against society.
That's because your kids are small. My youngest is 29. There was no social media when they...
Yeah. But my kids...
We have to fight against anything.
We have a neighbor, and they let their kids watch YouTube and stuff a lot.
Wow.
And I don't like Nomi. I like her to play with the other kids outdoors, not at their house watching some weird... I mean, that kid is 9, and the other day she was doing a spa evening with her best friend, her cousin, and I'm like, I don't mind that. But she came out fully in makeup when they're 9 years old. And I told Nomi, you know what? I didn't like that.
What kind of spa was she watching?
Nomi said, I think it was looked beautiful. I thought she looked like a clown. And then I told Nomi the scientific about, you know what? It's not good for your skin at all. You're blocking out the pores, and it's going to be really ugly, and it's not pretty at all, and you don't want to be a clown. And she's like, but clowns are pretty. Like, yeah, but not like that. No, made me have really fun conversations sometimes.
Wow, I can imagine. Wow. You're just full of guilt and scare tactics.
No, I explained to her why it's a bad idea to put your face full of makeup
But
when
think
you're
about-
9 years
Think
old.
about the whole South Korean makeup market.
I don't care.
And I
We
seen
don't
on-
want to feed money there.
I seen on TikTok.
Yeah.
They have this stuff that like you wipe it on your hands, like if it's wrinkly, and it's totally smooth. I'm gonna buy some. It's got like a big piece of ginseng in the oil. It looks like pee
Oh, gosh.
with a big piece of ginseng. It looks like a dead person.
no.
I'm like, huh?
So
I'm
how
gonna
would
try
you
that.
say, would you help people now? Like, what about children and young adults? You worked with confirmation camp with those people who tell you they're going through a hard time with their family. What do you say?
I'm like I care. No, no, I
You're
don't
right, because
say that. No,
that kind of kids will not turn up.
because that's the kind of priest I am. No, usually what I'm surprised by is by how many kids are holding up a facade. Yeah, like the whole outside. They look happy. They're getting good grades at school, but it's only because their parents are pressuring them so much, so they feel unloved unless they're actually able to perform. So I'm surprised by how many students there are that are like that. I think I'm surprised by how the lack of compliments, at least in this culture, I don't know about in Germany, but in Sweden, parents don't compliment their kids because they never got complimented. So they're not building any positiveness inside the kids. And so I see a lot of kids who just, like as an adult who actually tries to encourage kids, what happens is everyone's like, oh, all the kids like you. So here's school last week. They have all the teachers stand up. And so
Please stand up. Please stand up.
So last year I got that was the only teacher that got a standing ovation. Like
From
the students.
because you had a school
Like,
of slut, or
No, it was at the
Just
beginning of the
start.
school
Okay,
year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here's all the teachers.
Yeah.
And when they came to me, all the kids were like, "Whoa, yeah!" I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So I'm thinking like that was last year.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen this year. So I'm almost at the end of the line. They get to my name. The whole place erupts in craziness. For a whole 2 minutes, they're all applauding.
Really?
They went,
And you always think you don't
And-
get encouragement. What's wrong with you?
So they get to all the other teachers, and they're like, "Okay, give applause for all the teachers." And all the teachers have come to me and said, your applaud was just for you was twice as much as what
for
all the
everyone
teachers
else.
together got. They're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I don't do anything." The kids complain to their principal all the time.
All the time.
About my tests are too hard. Da 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 da. So they're like, "Yeah, but they all like you." I'm like, "I don't think they like me. I think they're just teasing me." He's like, but it's true. All the kids, they just gravitate to me, and I'm like, but you know what it is?
Why?
It's because
You have
I
expectations.
well, that too. I'm like, I don't expect you to be stupid, okay? No. It's my first day of class. None of you are stupid. You may have heard that you're stupid. You might believe you're stupid, and all the proof might say you're stupid, but you're not stupid. You will achieve in my class.
You will achieve in my class.
Honey, the other teachers talk like that. I'm like, cause here you're really gonna learn about music. But I think it's because I if the kids do good, I compliment them.
Yeah,
if they don't
should.
do good, I don't give fake compliments. I
No,
don't tell
no,
you
no,
you're good
no.
when you suck. Okay, I'm like, ugh.
You don't have to tell them that they suck,
No.
but you can tell the others that they are really good.
When the kid said, but you say nice things to everybody. I'm like, no. If you listen really closely, I say different things. So if you really can't sing, but you really, you're trying your best. I'm like,
a lot
you
of
have
effort.
you have really nice shoes. I really like your shoes. You must have a lot of. I'm just like, I'm not gonna even take up the singing thing.
You
I'm
pick
gonna-
on the thing that you can give compliments. on.
Exactly. I am. And sometimes I have to look really hard.
And if
I have
it's
to
not
dig
your
between-
ability, it has to be something
Something.
on you.
Hey, I'll look until I find. I keep digging until I finally hit something.
You know what? The way your hair waves in the air is really nice.
Sometimes that's what you got. It's like, look at that. I don't see any earwax in your ear. You must really clean your ears really well. Really, you think so? Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's about encouraging your kids.
Yeah. So but I think because I encourage them and because, like, I'm consistent. I don't give false encouragement. But if I say I'm going to do something, I really do try to do that.
Yeah.
So I try to follow up. So I
Consequence.
don't try to over exaggerate things and promise more than what I can give. But I don't also try not to promise or try not to build them up in a sort of false hope. I have to be realistic in what I say to them. And because of that, the kids know I'm like, listen, I'll give you an F. I still like you. I still have your back. I want you to succeed. But listen,
You gotta do the work.
it's 15 points. You got 2.
So you gotta do the work.
Like, even if I try, I can't give you anything other than an F because you didn't answer the questions. Or I mean, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. Where did you get that answer from? I don't know. I'm like, did you read the question? This is like, I mean, it's not that hard. Come on. So, yeah. So I think that and a lot of the kids, they just come. Some of the one of the students told me that the kids at school have me as their background picture.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you, Ed?
They're like a lot of the students have you as their background. I'm like, why? Because everyone thinks you're so cool. I'm like, what is wrong with you students?
That's really sad if they think you're cool.
No, it's not. Don't be jealous. Because they wouldn't think you were cool. They'd be like, that nerdy old lady, she's so mean.
I don't want to be cool. I want them to to perform.
They will because they're afraid of you.
Yeah.
They're afraid.
You know Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
I want to be like Paris. I want
Why?
to because she ran this tutoring business when she was at Yale, and she's like, is your child dumb or lazy? I can work with lazy. I can scare lazy out. But if she's dumb, I can't do much.
What a role model. Oh my gosh. Wow.
I used to want to be like Rory, but I want to be mean, but she ended up like a failure in life, so.
Wow. I think I think that like when we see it, so if we're at church, we're out and we see people, I think that as an adult we can address it with other adults. If I see people not giving compliments or they're not being kind to their children or they have such high expectations, as soon as you make one mistake, they're just all on you and stuff. Those are the parents that we need to talk to and just tell them.
But it's so hard to speak to other parents about their parenting.
Everyone gets offended. I'm like, wow, I wish I could do this like anonymously.
Send them from your number anonymous message.
No, I was thinking like so in Sweden we have this artist. Her name is Fröken Snusk, which means Miss Nasty Girl.
Yeah.
And so she keeps this pink furry
Mask?
baklava on her face, so you can't see anything but her mouth and eyes. I'm like, that's what I need.
Because no one would tell that
show up
it's
at people's
you.
door. Like I can get like those things that make me look smaller and I can change my voice. Oi. I'm here to tell you that your daughter, your son do not like you. You got to be better. See, I don't even sound like me.
You can just find those old ass newspapers and cut the letters out and glue them together
like a kidnapper.
like a kid.
You're not doing right. We're watching you. God is going to strike you dead. Be a better parent.
E point. Who's E dot?
We don't know. Oh, wow. Run.
Yeah.
He's like the son of Sam part 2.
I think another time we should come back to screwed up childhoods and people
part 2
being not happy with this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sad that you have to go through all this therapy just because you have parents that just were jacked up. And I would believe that most jacked up parents came from a jacked up home. That's usually the apple really doesn't fall far from the tree.
You know what Christian would say?
What?
Generational
Oh
sin.
my gosh. Don't even get me started on that lie. If you believe in generational sin, I feel sorry for you. It's a lie. There's nothing in the Bible about it. It's something that people made up so they can have control over you. So they can tell you how you got to come to them because they have a special anointing so you can get rid of your generational curse. You know what? I got your generational curse. If you could see it right now, you would die.
It's like your grandparents were divorced, your parents were divorced, you were divorced, so your children will be divorced too. That's a generational sin of divorce.
Well.
Or it's just a bad pattern you're following. Not everything you do is like a sin that's passed on like this.
Well, you do stupid things because you tend to make the same stupid mistakes that all the stupid people did before you.
Yep.
And you haven't learned the lesson. And you think you're the exception to the rule, and you're not.
You haven't worked on the solution. You're just like, I'm going to do it myself.
And often people think the solution is without hard work, but usually the solution requires a whole bunch of discipline and hard work. And that's why people never get there. If you find that you are listening to this podcast and you're going like, oh my gosh, they're talking about me, then seek
probably
help.
we do.
Come here, let us diagnose you. I mean, you could always come to Uppsala, Sweden, and we will talk to you and tell it to you straight, or you could just see a therapist. Try to get help. Try to find a way to talk about it so you can start to identify the problem so you can come up to the solution. But don't keep carrying negative things from your childhood, bad comments, things that just are not true.
And I also think you should try to not be in a victim mindset. Like, oh I'm like this, and because of my parents, it's all their fault. Blah, blah, blah. But of course, we're not saying that it's your fault, but you can do something about it. It's only
you're an
you.
adult now.
You have to be able to do something about it. Your parents won't, so who else will?
Exactly. I mean, and there is help available.
Yeah.
Not just books or anything, but just there are good people out there who can help you to work through those things so that you can break the cycle and then you can choose a new behavior, and that's what you'll pass on to your children.
Yeah.
Or you can keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's up to you. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I say watching. Thanks again for listening to Fika for Life. My name's Ed.
My name is Lynn.
And thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments or ideas, please send us a message to fikaforlife@mail.com. Fika, F-I-K-A. This was the Fika for Life podcast with Linh Nguyen and Edward Thomas, and we hope to hear you again.